Look, I don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa. And what do I mean by that? I'm not saying Tua's not a good quarterback. Tua is a good quarterback. But he's nothing more than average. I don't see Tua Tagovailoa ever leading a team to a Super Bowl. I just don't see it. I don't think Tua has the special sauce, and I don't think Tua has the physical skills to become a great quarterback. And I've seen 8 games of Tua Tagovailoa. He's been put into a good situation, so if that's the case, I don't need to curve the grade for a Matthew Stafford. I don't need to curve the grade for a Dwayne Haskins or a Josh Rosen. No, Tua, he's been put into a great situation to succeed. I can just evaluate him right out the gate. I don't need to curve the grade. I don't need to think, oh, if this team puts more around Tua, if this team does this for Tua. No. This Miami Dolphins team is very good. I can evaluate Tua Tagovailoa. And what do I see from Tua Tagovailoa 8 games into his NFL career? 8 games as a starter. I see a game-managing quarterback with an average arm, and I believe Brian Flores knows that's the case as well. Brian Flores knows that Tua Tagovailoa has an average arm and that he's a game manager, whether he wants to admit it or not. And I don't want to hear about Tua's stats. I don't want to hear about Tua's win-loss record. I could give less than 2 rips about those 2 things. I don't care about stats. I don't care about the win-loss record. You know what I care about? I care about the eye test, and I care about traits. I care about when I evaluate quarterbacks. This is what I care about. I care about these things. How strong is your arm? Are you accurate? Do you have the requisite size? Can you carry a team when things are going bad? Do you need a lot around you? Are you able to elevate under pressure? Are you able to elevate your team? Can you carry a bad roster? Do you have that it factor? And Tua, I look at him and I say, he's pretty accurate. But guess what? That's about it. And you can say the same thing about Kirk Cousins. He's pretty accurate. Kirk Cousins, for his career, has completed 67% of his throws. That's really, really good. And Teddy Bridgewater, you can say the same thing about Teddy Bridgewater. He's pretty accurate. 66.6% completion percentage. And one thing for sure about Tua is he's pretty darn accurate. I'm not going to lie. Tua's got some accuracy. However, that's about it. And if you're just a fairly accurate quarterback and you really bring nothing else special to the table, I don't think you're a long-term franchise quarterback. And folks, this past week, Tua Tagovailoa was benched for the 2nd time this season. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, this past Sunday versus the Las Vegas Raiders on the road, outperformed Tua Tagovailoa. And it is pretty clear to me that Ryan Fitzpatrick right now today gives the Miami Dolphins the best chance to win. Now, whether the Dolphins want to roll out Tua or not, if they make the playoffs, that's up to them. But I don't see it with Tua. I just don't. Here's my problem with Tua Tagovailoa. His inability to consistently push the football down the field and to beat teams vertically is a problem. His inability and unwillingness to take risks and shots down the field is hurting this Miami Dolphins team. His inability to consistently fit the ball into tight windows, it is hurting this Miami Dolphins team. And I labeled Tua Tagovailoa a game manager earlier on when I talked about him, okay? And what do I mean by a game manager? When I think about a game manager as a quarterback, I think of a quarterback that can succeed and win a lot of games when things are on script, when the protection's great, when the wide receivers are wide open. I believe those types of quarterbacks can win a lot of games. And I put Tua into that category. Tua's not a bad quarterback. Tua is a good, solid starting quarterback. But that's about it. And folks, The NFL is all about being comfortable when you're uncomfortable. And the minute Tua Tagovailoa has faced somewhat of a pass rush, the minute he faced the Broncos pass rush and struggled, the minute things got tight and off script in the Las Vegas Raiders game, the Miami Dolphins coaching staff said, we do not believe Tua Tagovailoa gives us the best chance to win. And Brian Flores pulled him. And listen, deep down, I think Brian Flores sees Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts out there balling and carrying teams. Meanwhile, he has Tua Tagovailoa, and he has a great roster. And Tua, he's just managing the game. He's not providing anything extra. He's not throwing the football down the field consistently. He's not making the throws that Justin Herbert's making. He's not making the throws that Joe Burrow's making. He's not being as dynamic off script as Jalen Hurts. Did you see the deep ball that Jalen Hurts threw versus the Dallas Cowboys? I haven't seen Tua Tagovailoa complete a ball like that all season. I haven't even seen Tua willing to take those shots. Here's why I see in Tua Tagovailoa. Either Tua Tagovailoa is incapable of pushing the football down the field consistently, or he knows he can't do it. Because for whatever reason, the guy is just comfortable being a check down Charlie. He's check down Charlie, check down, short pass. I'm going to try to just be a chain mover, but no big plays. Do you folks know that right now, Tua Tagovailoa averages less yards per pass than Aaron Jones averages yards per rush? That's a huge indictment on Tua Tagovailoa. Okay? And all you Dolphins fans are telling me, oh, the wide receivers are no good. We need to put more around Tua Tagovailoa. The offensive line sucks. I never hear that conversation when Ryan Fitzpatrick is starting games for the Miami Dolphins. You want to know why? Because right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick gives them the best chance to win. Right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick has a better arm than Tua Tagovailoa. Right now, Ryan Fitzpatrick can make throws down the field that Tua Tagovailoa simply cannot make. And quite frankly, if he can't make them right now, what makes you think that he can make them down the road? Okay? You don't just magically get super duper stronger as a quarterback. Usually when you come into the NFL, you kind of are what you are. And yes, you can get better as far as reading defenses. You can lose weight. You can get a little bit stronger. But for the most part, if you're a quarterback that in college has sort of an average arm, you don't magically come to the NFL and have a cannon for an arm. It just doesn't happen. And the fact of the matter is, Tua Tagovailoa, he was super overrated as a prospect coming out of Alabama. I felt he was a good prospect, but everyone kept saying, oh, if Tua was fully healthy, he'd be the number one overall pick over Joe Burrow. Listen, if the Cincinnati Bengals selected Tua Tagovailoa with the number one overall pick, that franchise would be in a bad state. That franchise would be in a terrible state. Because Tua Tagovailoa, he's just not that guy. Tua Tagovailoa needs a lot around him to succeed. And even if you put a great roster around Tua, are we sure he's good enough to carry the Miami Dolphins over the top? You know, let me just say this. So far, I'm going to say let's just wait and see. Because Tua, he is a rookie. He is still learning on the fly. But as I speak today, if I were to project, I'm going to say no. Because I just don't see the physical skill set that screams franchise quarterback. And listen, there are only so many Tom Brady's and Drew Brees out there. Okay? Tom Brady and Drew Brees are the exceptions of the rule. Okay? They've never had the greatest arms, but I don't know. There's just something special about Tom Brady and Drew Brees that I just don't see in Tua Tagovailoa. So in reality, people, listen, this might be a hot take, but if the Miami Dolphins find themselves staring at Justin Fields, staring at Zach Wilson, staring at a guy like Trey Lance, I would seriously consider drafting another quarterback, especially if it's Justin Fields, because I just don't think Tua is that guy. And you saw with the Arizona Cardinals. They said, hey, we don't want to sell for average. Josh Rosen, he can maybe become a good quarterback one day, but Kyler Murray, we see a generational talent. And I'm sorry, folks, but Justin Fields, he's a better prospect than Tua Tagovailoa, and that should not be up for debate. I understand Tua, he won a national title, he won a lot of games at Alabama. I get it, but when you watch Justin Fields play, he's got a better arm than Tua Tagovailoa. He's a better athlete than Tua Tagovailoa. He has a higher ceiling than Tua. Okay? So, Miami, listen, with that Houston Texans pick, if you're staring at a quarterback, you might need to take someone because you're going to continue to get better and better as a football team, right? You may never be in position to right the wrong at quarterback in regards to Tua Tagovailoa. You may never be in that position again. So, look, do I expect the Miami Dolphins to move on from Tua? No. And quite frankly, that's not a terrible choice because I do think Tua has a chance to win the Miami Dolphins a lot of games. But I just don't ever think Tua is going to get the Miami Dolphins over the hump. And in reality, Tua Tagovailoa is an average quarterback that's a game manager. He's got an average arm. And deep down, I know for a fact that Brian Flores and that coaching staff knows it, whether they want to admit it or not. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.